So you and Nancy.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. We're going to go ahead and start here in just a couple of minutes, just letting any last minute people join. We'll wait just about one more minute.
It never fails when I try and join a webinar. That's when my computer decides to do a new update or won't log on to the web.
Yep. All right. All right, everyone, we will go ahead and get started. So first of all, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know this is taking time out of your lives, work schedule, whatever it may be. So we greatly appreciate you being here. We really hope that it will answer any questions you have about the program, any hesitancies that you may have about even going back to school, even what it means to be an online learner. So we really hope this will be very informative for you. We will do questions, but we're going to hold those till the end, but we'll definitely make sure we have time for questions. Ooh, wasn't moving at first. Okay, so hi, my name is Kirsten. I'm an enrollment services advisor with University of Cincinnati Online, and I work very closely with the respiratory therapy programs. I'm a recruiter for them, so I definitely help the front end questions. And then on here, we also have Ms. Nancy Coletti, or Dr. Nancy Coletti, who is our expertise in the field, amazing person to work with, be able to help answer some questions you have, but also we'll go through the curriculum more with you and what you can expect from this program. So quickly, just kind of showing you what we will be going through. I'll give you a quick overview of the program. Dr. Coletti is going to go more into that curriculum, what you're going to expect, type of workload. And then I will go into the admission requirements, so what that does require, what we're looking for, kind of what it means to be an online learner. And again, like I said, we'll start with questions from there. So just again, program overview, have it right here that provides students entry to respiratory care professional practice degree programs, advancing skills, knowledge, leadership, and management education. So that's another thing that is great about this program is can help you get into those leadership roles, those management roles. That it's not just, oh, I'm learning more about respiratory care, but it's like, how can you use it? How can you train those individuals to become respiratory therapists, better respiratory therapists? But some of the program highlights for this program, it is 100% online. You will never have to come to campus for it unless you want to walk for graduation. We always welcome students to walk for graduation, whether you're driving, flying, or I've worked from other programs. I've definitely had those people. If you're in California, you want to see what, went ahead on with that. You want to see what our campus looks like, meet our faculty that you've been working with for almost 2 years. We just had our new baby hippo born at the zoo. We had Fiona, now we have Fritz. So going to the zoo is always fun to do. So this program is a little less than 2 years. It's 5 semesters, where a lot of grad programs are 6 semesters. So kind of right around the 1.5 year mark. We have some amazing faculty who are so great with our students, really able to connect with them, know the field, great relationships within the area and everything. We have start to graduate support. I will actually go into that a little later of what that means, for really letting you know that you are not alone when you're in this program. We don't just sign you up, tell you what classes to do, and then you figure it out. That is not the case at all. This program is offered in all semesters. So we have fall, spring, and summer semesters. So you're able to start at the beginning of each semester, apply for each semester. With that, we also have what we call B terms. Should you miss the beginning of the application deadline, you can kind of start in the middle. There's a couple caveats with that, should that happen, but we can definitely go into that should that be your case. But wanted to let you know, technically 6 starts for this program, but really we're kind of looking at the 3. With this program, there are 3 main tracks to choose from, which Dr. Coletti will also go through as well, but just throwing that out here real quick. It's health administration, health informatics, and education. And then with option transfer credits, Dr. Coletti can go into that a little bit as well, what that means if you are able to transfer credits, how many, things like that. So I will now hand it off to Dr. Coletti.
Thanks, Kirsten. So we have, students are required to take a total of 30 credit hours. And we have a series of core requirements that are listed here. And you can see that, you know, they cover everything from basic theory and leadership to applying leadership to respiratory therapy in terms of disease management and higher education. We also have a course in quality improvement and evidence-based practice. So those are the core courses that all respiratory care students must take for the degree. These some students who have already completed graduate level work, if that graduate level work is equivalent to this coursework, we can let you transfer those credits in. You can transfer up to 6 credit hours from another institution. So these are the core courses. And then next slide. And then, so you'll take those core courses, typically 2 at a time. All of the core courses are 7-week courses. So you'll take one the first half of the semester and one the second half of the semester. So even though it's 2 courses per semester, you're only taking 1 course at a time, which is helpful because you're only focusing on 1 course. However, the time to devote to those courses is a little bit more intensive, because what we're doing is we're covering a full semester's worth of work in 7 weeks. So it moves very quickly. And there's typically 2 or 3 assignments every week that you have to complete in each of those courses. And then after you've completed the core courses, we have you select from an area of concentration, and then you can select your concentration courses. You'll need to take 3 concentration courses. Again, 3 in education, or 3 in health administration, or 3 in health informatics, depending on what your area of concentration is. So if you want to go into management and leadership, become again, a department manager, department supervisor, an administrator, vice president, if you will, at a healthcare institution, the health administration program concentration would be the best option for you. If you're, the health informatics is a great concentration, because that really helps you with how to use the data to make informed decisions in leadership. And you might not be, you won't be, I shouldn't say that, you won't be a health informatics specialist just taking 3 courses, but it will inform you as to how you can work with and collaborate with the health informatics specialists in your area to best run the organization that you are leading. So that's another great option, especially if you like data and data analysis. It's a great opportunity there. And then our education concentration, it really is preparing folks to either become faculty members at a co-arc accredited school, or many of our educators are educators in the clinical environment. So they may be special patient educators in a specific disease management clinic. Like, for example, we have CF educators, we have asthma educators, we have COPD educators in certain healthcare organizations. Or the clinical educators, again, larger hospitals and medical centers have respiratory therapy educators who they're responsible for onboarding all of the new hires. They're responsible for documenting competencies, again, of continuing competency of all of their staff, but then also, again, onboarding new folks, or if they're orienting new traveling therapists who are visiting and working for a period of time, contracted people, those types of clinical educators. So education, really, there's a broad spectrum. And because of that, we've partnered with the College of Education to offer those courses. And there's kind of subcategories, if you will. You can choose from every one of them if you want. But we have courses in instructional technology. We have courses in curriculum and instruction. And we have courses in education leadership. And then there's a new program that came on board in the College of Education, and I was so excited to incorporate some of their courses into our education curriculum. They're not on this particular slide, but they are available. And it's the health promotion in education, which is wonderful. It's got a public health policy in there, and some other really wonderful courses that I think our students would really like. And that just got off the ground in the last couple of months. So I'm excited to have our students enrolled in some of those courses as well. And then so just as a point of reference, the education concentration courses are all taught in the College of Education. The health informatics courses are all taught, it's part of the College of Allied Health, but they're all taught by our program faculty in our Master's in Health Informatics program. And then the health administration is also in our Master's in Health Administration faculty. So those are outside of the respiratory care program. And they allow our students to come in, which is the opportunity for our students to work collaboratively with other professional disciplines in their education and foster that interprofessional collaboration and practice, which is wonderful. So being that way, not all of the concentration courses are offered in that 7-week period. Some are and some aren't. So again, if they're not 7 weeks, they're the full semester courses, which are usually 14 weeks in length. So again, you'll still be taking the first semester of concentration courses, you'll be taking 2 at a time. It might be possible that you're taking 2 courses simultaneously for a full semester. If they're both education. The education courses do tend to be full semester courses. Health administration and health informatics courses tend to be 7-week courses as well. And then the last course you'll take is the capstone course, and that's in the 5th semester. Students take the capstone course along with one of their the last of their concentration courses. And that's also a full semester project that students work on. It's not a thesis, but it's a project. Throughout the program, you're going to be learning about theory. You're going to be applying that theory. You're going to be identifying issues, problems, challenges, and then you'll be using those theories to develop a project to help address those questions, issues, or problems that you identify in your coursework. So that's how the curriculum goes. And again, most of our students do take those 2 courses at a time every semester. That's 6 credit hours. That's the minimum amount of hours that you need to qualify for financial aid. So that's why that works very well. However, some students, especially those students who have employer reimbursement, in order to maximize their benefits and get their employer to pay for more of their schooling, they take a slower curriculum, and that's okay too. Some of our students, it's kind of interesting. Some students will take just 1 course every semester and they get through the program. Other students have done something very unique. They take 2 courses a year. And so they enroll in those 2 courses in one semester. So they've taken courses in the spring term, and then they didn't take any until the following summer. And then they didn't take any until the following fall. So, but either way, it works, and we can be flexible that way. The only guideline is that you must complete your program within 5 years of when you started. So we do have these optional plans should you need that or want that. If you can't do 2 courses every term for 5 consecutive terms. But most of our students do it that way, but you don't have to. Okay, next slide. So just some notes about the curriculum. We try to, as I said, we're going to do some, we're going to present some theories and investigate what evidence we have to support the use of those theories and apply those theories to respiratory care practice. And so because of that, it is expected that you're actively employed as a registered respiratory therapist. So this program is really not geared for people who are not employed or people who are right out of school, right out of your undergraduate experiences as a respiratory therapist. So you are expected to hold an active state license if you live in a state that has a license. And I think the only place that doesn't right now is Alaska. However, you do have to be a registered respiratory therapist. And as I said, if you're in a state that has licensure, you have to hold an active license. You also have to hold that active RRT credential. Again, back in the day, 2005, I think it was, the MBRC started putting expiration dates on your credentials, and you needed to submit your continuing professional education in order to renew those credentials every 5 years. So be sure that your RRT credentials are up to date. It's different than your state license. It's a separate process that you have to go through to renew your credentials. That's separate from renewing your state license. We also have some certificate options for our students. So, for example, students who take the healthcare administration concentration, if you take one more course, so you would have 4 electives in that concentration, you can earn a certificate in healthcare administration. There's also a certificate available in medical education as well that also requires 1 more course. So you're already taking 3. Take that 4th course that you meet those 12 credit hours to get those certificates. So you don't need to make a decision on that. Those are just options that are available to you should you want to pursue that. Okay. So we've graduated several cohorts now. So we began our MSRT program in the fall of 2019. And we've had several cohorts graduate now, and we followed up with them to find out what they were doing. I can tell you probably about 30% of our current students were actually promoted before they graduated, and they were promoted with the expectation that they would have this graduate degree in a specific period of time. And these are just some of the positions that our graduates are currently in. We have Network Executive Director of Respiratory Care. We have Respiratory Care Department Managers, Clinical Team Leaders, Department Supervisors. We have a Regional Supervisor of a Cardiopulmonary Rehabilitation Area. In the clinical education, we have, again, Department Clinical Educators and Trainers. We have Education Coordinators. And again, those education coordinators are within the healthcare industry organizations, not in a school. We have clinical and technical specialists that work for manufacturers. We have folks that are running simulation centers, and again, both in education settings, higher education settings, but also some are running those simulators in the hospitals, those larger teaching hospitals where they have sim centers for their staff and training of medical professionals. and of course, patient family educators. And then we have students who are working in higher education, and they've gone on to become program directors, directors of clinical education, full-time faculty members. Most of them start at the assistant professor level. Some who were already assistant professors were promoted to associate professors. And then some are working part-time as adjunct faculty. And then we have one person who went into research, and he actually pursued a degree in, as a clinical research coordinator, again, at one of the larger hospital centers. Okay, Kirsten, I'll let you take it back.
Thank you. Sorry, every time I click the slide, it doesn't do anything, so I have to click several times. So apologize on my delay. So yes, thank you so much for sharing all of that. So I'm now going to go into some of the admission requirements we have for this program when you are applying. So obviously, starting the application. Right now, the application fee for spring semester has been waived. So when you start the application process, it's not like you pay, then get it back. It will automatically be waived for you. Future semesters, we don't know if that's happening, but if you start right now, it's a $65 fee. And you can start for summer or fall if you wish. But right now, the spring is where the application fee is. Another thing, we definitely need a copy of your unofficial transcripts. Kind of like what Nancy said, we're definitely looking for a bachelor's degree. Something we are with this as well, get your associates in respiratory therapy, and then you have a bachelor's in communication. Fortunately, that doesn't really work. If your bachelor's is not in RT, does need to be in a health related field. And Nancy, if you want to cut in here real quick, you can. A big reason of that I know is the research component, that you really haven't been able to cover that in the bachelor's degree that's not in the health related field.
Yeah, so there's two parts of it. There's the research component, and then there's also the science component. We really rely heavily on those science courses, those basic science courses, as well as the advanced science courses that come as part of the respiratory care curriculum. But that helps to provide that foundation for reading and analyzing and critiquing current research and applying that current research. And then, of course, strong writing skills. So there's keys there. There's the reading and the writing and the analysis. That's important. That doesn't always come across in a Bachelor of Arts curriculum.
Thank you. I know there's so much more to it, so I always have an email usually. So another thing we will require, yes, unofficial transcripts, you will upload those yourself. If accepted, at one point, we will need official transcripts, so you will have to contact your past colleges to have those sent in. If you are or were a UC student, you will actually still have to upload your unofficial transcripts into your application. But once, or if you're accepted, that's when UC will upload your official. So you'll just be responsible for one part of those. So we definitely need a copy of your MBRC credential. You will upload that as well, whether you get on the MBRC website, take a screenshot. If you have your RRT license in a frame, as long as we can see it, that's fine. Take a picture, upload it. And we also need your state license as well. So we definitely need to see that those are both active when you are applying. Something else we will need is a copy of your resume or CV. So definitely make sure that is up to date. And then we will also need a personal statement from you. Typically, this is 1-page single space, 2-page double space, but really going into why you're wanting to advance yourself, why you're looking into a graduate program, short and long-term goals, how you're able to use this degree, whether it's advancement in the field with teaching or whatnot. Even if you don't know concentration, you don't need to put that, but that way we can really get to understand who you are, what type of student you'll be. So really making sure you're thoughtful and how you're writing those letters out, making sure grammar checks, because I mean, we really do look at these. It's not just something we're asking to upload and that's it. the program really delves deep in these to understand who you are as an individual and a student. And then the last thing we require are 2 recommendation letters. These cannot be from friends. So somebody that you have dinner with down the street, no. We definitely need supervisors, managers, any mentors. If you're just kind of in school a bit ago or still in connection with a past professor, that can work too. So really being able to talk to what your ability is as a respiratory therapist, and really making sure that when you talk to these individuals to request this, that they know to write these thoughtful letters, just a 1-2 sentence paragraph, and that's not it. We're really not able to gain much from them of their perspective of you. So making sure that when you talk to them, to really make sure that they can take the time to write this down and submit it. And with those recommendation letters, when you start the application, really the actual application process, just getting it started, it's about 5-10 minutes takes to complete, putting all your personal information in, then you're uploading everything. With the letters of recommendations, you will actually put in your recommender's email address to make sure you do have the right one for them. Then they are emailed a unique link with a unique username and password where they will actually upload the letters themselves. You're not able to do that for them. Okay, going into tuition and fees breakdown. Really, we're kind of looking at the total, I don't know if you can see my mouse here, total cost resident if you're an Ohio student or a non-Ohio student. So again, if you're not from Ohio, cost per credit is $769. That does include everything except textbooks, which we're showing here. So when you get that bill, you won't see all these additional charges on and have no idea where they came from. It's really just the extra is that textbook price. And really between an Ohio student and a non-Ohio student really isn't much different. It's this non-resident surcharge that you're charged with. With this, I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself. Nancy mentioned this a bit, but again, we do accept financial aid if you're qualified, especially being a part-time program. Some students are hesitant, like, well, don't I have to be full-time? No, you don't. You do not have to be, as long as you're taking those 6 credit hours. So yes, definitely accepting financial aid if you're eligible. Some other things that I like to suggest to students to kind of really help save money. There are some websites out there that are actually good websites. You want to make sure you're finding legit websites, and that's something my team and myself can email to you if you request it. One's scholarships.com, one is Unigo. That's a great website as well. And then even just some of the research I've been trying to do on the back end and seeing where other places I can find scholarships. I believe I actually have found a graduate scholarship that you can apply for through the AARC. So even being able to get into your own organization to apply for the scholarships is such a great and beneficial idea that you can look into.
Yeah, we do share scholarshiping opportunities too for students who are enrolled, and we point that out. There's COBERT, which is the Commission on Baccalaureate and Graduate Respiratory Therapy Education. And they have some great scholarshiping opportunities, as does the American Respiratory Care Foundation, has specific scholarships for graduate students. Ohio, the Ohio Society for Respiratory Care, although you have to be a resident of Ohio and you have to be a member of the ARC, they have scholarships. And then we also have our new scholarships that are available. They're one-time scholarships for new applicants to the respiratory care program that are from the College of Allied Health Sciences.
Yes. And yeah, a lot of these scholarships too, it's just so many students don't even know they're there or don't try looking for them. And so many scholarships go untouched and there's so much money left over. I'm actually in our own department on a training committee for financial aid, and all the different types of programs, even our own public library and the county that Cincinnati in has scholarships that just go untouched. So look, there's not a limit of scholarships you can do. UC's not going to say, nope, you have too many. It's not like that at all. One other thing I wanted to bring up is a scholarship program that we do have that works with your businesses. It's called our U2B scholarship. It is where we partner with your employers that works out that we sign a contract with them that all of their employees spouses, their employees' dependents under 25 years old can receive a scholarship off of this instructional fee. So I don't have an amount. It would be at least a 5% scholarship rate that you would get off of that. But it's no cost to your employer. It's just really being able to connect with your employer. So if they're wanting their employees to go back to school to get that advanced degree, that this is a great way to help students get there, especially a lot of in healthcare are helping with tuition readmission for graduate students. From what I've seen, I feel like that's almost more popular than undergrad. This is a great way for them to help save money. So it will be off this top instructional fee, which, as you can see, is the highest amount of that. So we're not saying a 5% scholarship off of $8. No, we do want you to be able to save some money. So if you're interested in that, again, reaching out to your enrollment services advisor, and we can kind of make that connection happen as well. And then here are our application deadlines. Our spring application is still open. Classes start January 9th, and then the application deadline is November 21st. And with that, we definitely want all items in for your application. So the earlier started, the better off you'll be. That way you're not scrambling around. And also when you start these applications, to really make sure you talk to your recommenders right away. That is almost always one of the things that takes the longest with your application, is getting those recommendation letters in. And I've seen it where students have everything in and they're asking the recommenders, trying to find new recommenders to fill out a last minute letter so they can get that application in. So, because that is the one thing that truly is out of your control. So definitely highly recommend starting with that. But like I said earlier, we are accepting applications for summer and fall. Later applications, we are reviewing them. I can't remember if decisions are on hold for being let out. It might be a little later. I will say I can't exactly remember, but just wanted to give you those dates. And then again, I mentioned the B term that we have, that if you do miss that deadline or for whatever reason are just not able to start that early, then work with your enrollment advisor that we can make sure you're in for the B term, and letting the faculty know as well with that. So talking about online experience, what does that mean? Whether you're completely new to onlining, took one class, or maybe you have done an online program, but maybe schools do it a different way. Once you apply and if accepted, I'll help a couple little more steps that you'll need to complete. And then at one point, introduce you to your student success coordinator. That is someone who stays with you throughout the entire program. They have, before your classes begin, about a 30 to 45-minute welcome call. And that might seem long, but they want to make sure you're getting all the information that you need to be set up for success, to really, they go over the program, what will be required. They will have your personal curriculum map, so all the courses that Nancy talked about. Again, we know concentrations, does not have to be decided on right away. You do have a little bit of time with that, but at least they'll be able to tell you how to enroll in a course, which courses to enroll in, what textbooks you need to purchase, any other email setup that you need. And then they'll do periodic check-ins. That way you're not alone. You can definitely go to them for questions, answers. And if they don't know, especially if it's very specific to respiratory care field, because that person's not a respiratory therapist, but if they don't know it, then they can definitely work with faculty, and then you all can collaborate together. And then they'll be there, they'll help and make sure that you apply for graduation, that you're getting those applications in on time, because we know everyone is looking towards that end of the tunnel to be able to graduate and get that degree. So they will definitely help you with that process as well. And while you might be an online student, you still have access to these UC resources, which is the library, technical support. UC has a great UC IT department that you can call in with help. I've definitely had to do that sometimes when I don't know what happens to my computer, and they're able to help me, walk me through it. We have an online learning management help, and then we also have a writing center that you can utilize as well. Not even listed on here, we have even a career center that is willing and very helpful with online students. You're just book an online appointment with them, whether it's by phone, Zoom, or Teams. I'm not sure which one they use, to help you with that career when you need help on updating resume, things like that. We also have that service for you. Again, we have showing the program director is Dr. Nancy Coletti, and one of our assistant professors is William Phillips. And then again, here's my contact information. So you're more than welcome to reach out to me. We have our overall line and email address to be able to contact us. And you will get a copy of this presentation. Give us a few days, since this is at night. We're not going to have it tomorrow right away, but we will be able to email all of this out to you. Okay, and with that, we'll open up to any questions that we have. There is a chat here if you are able to write in it, answering questions that we forgot to mention or need more clarity on. Right. Sorry, I'm seeing.
Are they able to unmute and just talk?
Yes, here we go. Okay. Hi, okay, so this is
Cedric.
Velma. Sorry, should be able to talk here. Okay, go ahead.
Hello. Thank you for having us here with you tonight. We really appreciate it. My question to you is, I am a military student. Well, I'm retiring from the military, and due to my military, deployments and all that stuff, my actual GPA wasn't all that great due to, got to hurry up the classes just so you don't fail them and so forth and so forth. Well, initially I was not accepted due to GPA, but my advisor, Ms. Lydia, kind of talked to, I think, to the director. I don't know who she talked to, but I have to take 2 classes before I'm matriculated. So I'm taking 2 non-matriculated classes, starting January. So how long are those classes for?
So hang on, let me double check, because I'm not teaching them myself. I believe that they are both 7-week courses, but I don't. Okay. You can't always rely on my memory. Hang on a second while I find that. Oh, actually, now that I think some more about it, I think the one that starts in January, I believe that's a full semester course. Okay. Let me double check. Okay, got it. Yeah. So the one course was healthcare documentation and communication. That is a full semester course. So that'll start in January and run through April-ish. So that'll be a full 14 weeks. And then the other course is a half semester course. And that would just be a 7-week course.
Okay. Since the summer session starts in April, I would not be able to attend that summer section starting. I mean, that summer, the one that starts the summer,
correct,
which is April. So I would have to actually wait till fall of 2023.
Yeah. So so that would, that's how it would work. Is you'd take the one course in the spring, the other course in the fall, and then you'd start the graduate courses in January.
Oh, okay. So I can't take them both at the same time?
No, they're not offered. They're only offered once a year, those particular courses. And the communication course, the documentation and communication course is only offered in the spring. and the intro to respiratory therapy research is only offered every fall.
Okay, so I'll just have to so like I said, get ready for January 2024, basically. And so I'll have to redo all the application. Would I have to get all of my my letter of recommendations and all the paperwork that I've already submitted? And would I have to do that all over again?
That's a good question. I don't know, Kirsten, do you know, can that be saved or forwarded for them, or?
I think it's going to depend on the semester that you end up applying for. Sorry, I think you will have to upload everything again. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm not mixing up undergrad and grad, because how those applications work.
Yeah, graduate school is different.
It's a little different, where sometimes it's great, it's easier, but then sometimes it definitely makes it harder. The only thing I could think of is like, well, yeah, you would have to start a new one. Sorry. So definitely save everything so you could upload the new transcripts. But if you're happy with your letter of intent, so the letter you write, definitely have that on file. Keep copies if you already downloaded your MSRT and active state license. That way you can easily just upload it again.
Yes, ma'am. So those wouldn't really be the issue. The issue would be the letter of recommendations, or having them write the letter of recommendations again. Let
me look into it. I can't remember. I know I've seen this happen before, or like somebody decide not to come through and then applied again. I can't remember what it looks like on the back end, so we can definitely get back to you on that. Okay, awesome. I mean, I have plenty of personnel to write on it. Just if I don't need to, then of course, because I chose not to see them when they sent them off, so I don't have access to those. Oh, that's fine.
Did we address your questions?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
There's a couple questions in the question and answer forum. And someone asked me to explain the bachelor's to master's fast track. So if you're currently enrolled in our BSRT program here at the College of Allied Health Sciences, what you would do is complete, it's an internal application that you submit to the BSRT program director, Dr. Howard, and she would review that. And what you would do is you can take one or two of the core MSRT courses while you're still enrolled in the bachelor's program. And so typically what they'll do is they'll take one course in your fourth semester and or one course in the fifth semester of study. And when you do that, the benefits to you are that you pay undergraduate tuition, which is way less than the master's tuition. If you do it in a semester, for example, in the fifth semester, students are taking 10 credit hours. If you do it in that semester, you'd be up to 13 credit hours, but then it's considered full-time and you get that full-time bundled rate for the undergraduate tuition. We don't have that for graduate tuition, but for undergraduate tuition. So again, it kind of helps you save a couple of dollars there. If you've transferred in any of your courses that are required for the bachelor's degree, you might be able to start taking some of those core courses in that third semester. But typically that's what we have you do. You fill out the application that you want to do the BSRT to MSRT accelerated program. You would do that after the end of your second semester. And then you'd start taking courses in the fourth and fifth semester. And in that fifth semester, you'd be applying to the MSRT program. Does that help? Does that give you enough information? That was Gavin who put that in there.
Yeah. Looks like it, maybe. So then we have the other question. Do you need to be a full-time as an RT, or can you be a part-time?
Part-time is fine. Yeah, we just want you to be working in the field. Oh, a good question. Can you pick and choose across all concentrations? No, we want you to stay with a set concentration. And again, we explore these ideas in the core courses. I always have, and I know some students probably don't like it, but sorry, a necessary evil, but I have reflection questions at the end of every course. And oftentimes that helps students to better fine tune, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? And that helps them to better pick a concentration. I also meet regularly with the students, especially when students are unsure. I'll meet with them and talk with them and help them to decide. Typically, you can change your mind at any time up until you enroll in that first concentration course. Because typically once you've done that, if you say, oh my gosh, and I actually had a student do that. So she enrolled in the education course, her very first education course, day 2 or 3 of that very first course, she just kind of said, wait a minute, not me, don't want to do it. And so she dropped that course, which was good because she dropped it early, so she wasn't liable for tuition. And then she said, can I add this concentration instead? And because she was right at the very, very first week of the class, she was able to do that. But she didn't have the textbook, and so she had to really play catch up for that particular course. So yeah, but once you've started taking them, you really shouldn't change it because it's going to push your graduation date back. I mean, you can, it'll just push your graduation back. Is there guidance?
I said earlier too, you're not having to decide before you even start the program. You have a little bit of time, and you'll, especially with your student success coordinator, be able to kind of, even if you just want to glance over the courses and everything. So you do have some time to make a decision if you don't have one made up yet. But if you have one, some students come into this program because they know they want an MSRT degree as well as a specific concentration, and that's great as well. So is there guidance when you finish to help with job placement?
So we don't have a formal, well, again, we have that formal professional development office that helps work with students. That's for the whole campus, for the entire university. As far as respiratory care goes, we frequently, and when I say frequently, I mean like all the time, get emails from folks that are looking for key people, especially when they know they want key people with graduate degrees, and they will send us emails and say, hey, I'm looking for somebody with a graduate degree who can work for me. And that is shared with our students in the announcements. We have it's an asynchronous MSRT community forum in our learning management system. And that's a place where we post all of that kind of information. Through Dr. Phillips and I are both very active with the American Association for Respiratory Care. And so when we're at meetings, people are always like, oh, hey, I need to send you something because I need one of your graduates. And so we both get those kinds of things pretty frequently. And then we automatically share them. So it's kind of help, but it's informal help, I guess. I think most of our students who have gone to new positions, either while they were enrolled or shortly after they finished, again, it was typically through connections that they made either within their current organization that they work for, or it was somebody that they met, you know, outside of where they work. And we just help to cultivate that for them. I have one student, I put her in touch. This was really kind of funny. I've been in the field for quite a while, and I have a big mouth, so people know me. But I had a student in Florida who wanted to do a capstone project. And I said, well, where are you in Florida? And she told me, and I was like, hey, one of my bachelor's degree students from 1980 something, 89 or something, she's a program director down there. Here, let me put you in touch with her. And the next thing I know, she's doing her capstone project on campus with one of my former students from decades ago. And then she got a faculty position after she graduated. So how cool was that?
And actually, what, in a week or two, Nancy, you and one of my colleagues is actually going to be in New Orleans.
Yes, yes, we will be down
conference.
at the ARC Congress, and Dr. Phillips will be there too. So if any of you are going to the AARC International Congress in New Orleans on November 10th, oh wait, no, November 10th is when I'm talking. It starts November 9th. We'll be there. Anybody going?
Are there any more questions?
I see Gavin's hand up, but is that because you're going
yes.
to New Orleans?
Gavin, if you're wanting to talk, I just opened it for you.
Yeah. Hi. No, hi. I'm not going to New Orleans. Maybe in a few years. Give me a bit of chance. No. I've only just recently got my degree in respiratory therapy, and I've just passed the first NBRC exam. I've got the second one to do still. I'm just asking. I know I should be on bachelor's, but I missed that date, so that's why I came on to this one. Okay. What is the major difference between the bachelor's and the master's, if I may ask?
So the bachelor's curriculum at the undergraduate level has more application to, again, it's to take those students who have an associate's degree in respiratory therapy and give them some more advanced skills, because the associate degree, because it's so few credit hours, they need further development in their writing skills and their researching skills. And then further development, there are also some preliminary like introductory management courses, and then a few courses that also really apply more to bedside care, like caregiving in the respiratory care profession, and disease management and patient education, aging in respiratory therapy. And then there's an advanced course, which many students actually, I won't say many, but a fair number actually can waive that one. And it's it's one of the advanced courses, and it's the clinical observation course. And again, okay, it's specialty observation. It's to help cultivate those skills for specialty exams like pulmonary function, neonatal pediatrics, the adult critical care.
Okay.
Transport, those, transplantation. We have respiratory therapists that work in transport unit coordinators and things like that. So okay, that's really where the undergraduate program lies. And then the graduate program, the master's program, is again more in depth with the evidence-based practice and research, and then again developing those leadership and management skills, and again the education skills to become educators.
Okay. Yeah.
Where did you finish your associate's degree? I'm curious.
I finished at the County College of Morris in New Jersey. Yeah, we were 28 students that completed it, so that was pretty intense. I'm actually, and the reason why I'm looking at the University of Cincinnati is once I finish the CSE exam and all goes well, I'm going to be packing up my stuff and heading to Kentucky.
Okay.
Look for a job down there.
Why Kentucky? Just curious.
I've got a good friend that I worked with in the United Arab Emirates. As you can hear, I'm not American. I'm the only foreign student that was in my group. So I'm originally from South Africa, but I'm British now, and I'm in the US to come and study. So I did the RT side of things, which was very interesting. So yeah, no. Why Kentucky? Like I said, I got a good friend down there, and his wife happens to be a senior director at one of the hospitals. And
Ah,
she said to him, and she said to him that she's always looking for good RTs. So Kentucky's the way to go. I mean, New Jersey's all great and well, but it's too compacted and too populated, and at least Kentucky is more
it's beautiful countryside.
Yeah, well, big time. I went down there for 5 days, and I came back and I said, "Yep, I'm on my way."
My husband and I go down there and ride bicycles every year. We do this thing called the Horsey 100, and they're road bicycles, and we ride the roads for 100 miles.
Okay.
They had some killer hills. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, I'm definitely unfit. So I think if I cycle up a hill, I'm going to be climbing off the bike and walking with it. or I'll get one of those motorized ones.
Oh yeah, those e-bikes are really popular. Yeah. Very popular.
It looks very fun. Yeah. So because one of the questions I asked her, unfortunately, I wasn't able to see the RT manager at the hospital for more than 5 minutes because it was all hands on deck. So I was pretty busy. So she just basically said to me, so you are Gavin. Okay, great. Thanks very much. We'll see you later. Boom, done. But Paige said that also, how long after I start working, can I then look at furthering my education? And she said almost immediately. So I was like, ooh, cool.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, because in New Jersey, you have to work a year before you're allowed to go and do your bachelor's. So gotcha. I'm kind of like, maybe I'll get the one step ahead.
I do want to let you know too, we actually do still have the bachelor info session coming up. That's next Wednesday, November 2nd at 6 p.m. So you haven't missed it yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I missed the one yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it's been hectic. So I missed that one, and that's why I'm glad I didn't miss this one.
The bachelor's degree is more intense because you're taking 3 courses a semester for the first 3 semesters. So that's a bit
I'm
more
not
intense.
excited for that. I can honestly tell you that because I've just done 13, 14 credits every semester, and each one 9 was credits, worse than that's not too bad. Okay, yeah. I must admit, taking 5 subjects is kind of like a killer.
Yeah, well, we do. So it really is designed for somebody who's working full time and going to school part time. So although it's 3 courses, 2 of the courses are half semester and 1 of the courses is full semester. So you're only ever taking 2 courses at a time. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It's something that I have to discuss with the institute that I'm going to be working for, because as a foreign student, it's quite a mission impossible to actually get anything right. I'm just lucky that my dean of faculty put me forward for OPT, which is literally like on the job training as a student. Gotcha. Otherwise, I was given like 60 days, and either you're out starting school or starting work. Now it gives me a little bit of breathing space for 12 months.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Hey, Gavin, I will. I manage the website on the back end for Dr. Claudia and for Kirsten.
Okay.
And if you go to our website, so online.uc.edu, and go to the Bachelor's in Respiratory Therapy program page, at the top there's an alert, and it might be the same way that you registered for this one, but you can still register for the BSRT info session, and you'll get a chance to meet Dr. Howard next week, who's our program director for that one. So I highly encourage you to go to the website and sign up for it. Again, it's free, just like this one, and you get a lot of good information. So hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yeah, well, fortunately, I get an email from the university, so that's how I'm registered for this one. And I actually was looking at, do I register for the second? What am I going to get out? So now I will register for the second.
Perfect. That's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Looks like another question here. With the education track, can you teach at all levels? Online and state, you can teach associates, bachelors, and masters.
Yeah, so the education concentration prepares you to teach professionally in the area of patient education and respiratory therapy education. So yeah, you could, as I said, you could teach at a traditional college or university, or you could teach again in the industry. So again, a lot of industry partners, you probably met them. They come with the salespeople. When you buy a new ventilator, they're the ones that come in and train you on how to use your new ventilator. Or again, some folks are working in SIM centers that are part of healthcare organizations. So I'm not sure, what other levels there are. I can tell you that most universities and levels of higher institutions of higher education do require that you earn a terminal degree before they will hire you to teach. So for example, I could not teach at the University of Cincinnati unless I had my doctoral degree. Now, again, because in respiratory therapy, the number of people with doctoral degrees and respiratory therapy credentials and experience are few and far between. There are some places that will hire you with the master's degree to teach, but they may again require you to earn that doctoral degree within a certain number of years. So does that answer your question, Charlene, hopefully? Okay, wonderful. I see Shedrick's hand is up again.
Okay, I have unmuted you.
I could go for a second. I'm actually at work and I need to answer this really quick before I
Oh gosh, okay.
Respiratory Cedric.
Oh goodness. I'm surprised he has enough time to get online while he's working. Any other questions I can answer?
Looks like it.
Okay.
All right. Shedrick, if you can hear us, just because we don't know how long the conversation you might have on the phone might be, but
he's back.
Oh, is he back? Okay, good.
I'm sorry. So I have two questions. So I have a BSAST. Would that suffice as for the bachelor's that you need?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead if you knew.
Yes. So again, the path that you're on, which is taking those 2 undergraduate respiratory therapy courses and then reapplying, that is the workaround to your Bachelor of Arts degree.
Well, that's an applied science and technology degree.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And the second question is, so being in the Navy, of course, I was an instructor, a respiratory therapy instructor for 3 years for the Navy, teaching respiratory therapy school for the military and for the Army and the Navy. Will any of the class courses and the classes and things that I took become an instructor actually transfer to you guys toward the education part? Or
they would not, because they're not considered at the graduate level. So we can't just transfer courses in because it's experience, but they're not courses. So they can't just directly transfer in. I would have to double check. I know at the undergraduate level, there's a prior learning assessment where you put together a portfolio of materials.
Yes, ma'am.
But the idea is that those portfolio of materials have to demonstrate achievement of learning objectives for a specific course. Gotcha. So in other words, we could look at one of the graduate courses. For example, there's a graduate course that's the respiratory therapist in higher education. And so you would have that course syllabus with those expected course learning outcomes. And then you would need to put together a portfolio. But again, I know that we do that at the undergraduate level. I would have to double check our policies and procedures for the graduate school, whether the graduate school allows prior learning assessment, because I'm not sure that's allowable with the graduate school. I'd have to double check on that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Doesn't look like we have any more questions. So I want to thank everybody for coming and joining us. You've asked some really great questions. We really hope this was valuable for you. Like I said a bit earlier, this presentation will be sent out to you. If you could just give us a couple of days, but we'll definitely send this out so you can refer back to anything that you may wanted more clarity on or may have missed. It also has our contact information. But again, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks everyone for being here. I appreciate it.
All right. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right. Thank you.